It says I'm live. Can y'all see me? Can you hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Oh my gosh, can anybody see me or hear me? Am I good? Am I good? Am I good? Okay, good. I think I can be seen and heard. All right. Okay, hey, y'all can see me. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good. It has been a crazy several hours. Hey, you guys. And I haven't been on in a while. I have been fasting. I'm about to do a minimum 15-day fast. I'm on day 3. So I just been fasting, sleeping, and watching Game of Thrones. Funny enough. People told me over the years to get into Game of Thrones, but it's one of those shows you have to really sit and pay attention to. And I had too much just going on in my life where I didn't have time to sit and watch anything medieval and listen to the language and all that stuff. But I have been watching Game of Thrones for the past 2 days. I'm on season 1, episode 7, and I love it. I know I'm 10 years late, but I don't care. I'm on my Game of Thrones shit and fasting, okay? So I was here minding my damn business. I was going to go live anyways. I hadn't been live, you know what I'm saying, since 2020. And I was kind of resting. I did the New Year's party. So thank you to everybody who made it to my New Year's party and watched me DJ. We had a good time. All the Discord members that came through. It was wonderful. It was a blessing. It was very emotional ringing in 2020 with you guys. Put a teacup if you guys made it to the New Year's Eve party. It was very emotional because I feel like we've been through this huge emotional roller coaster of 2020, and just to hear from you guys and how much, I helped you guys and you guys did the same for me. 2020 was a tough year for all of us. So we did that. And then I just wanted to kind of just, take a break from social media and just clear my mind because I just felt like there's just more stuff coming down the pipeline. And so today, as I'm watching Game of Thrones and I'm watching them pour gold on the blonde, I don't know any of these people's names, okay? But the fine one, Jason Momoa's character, Dago, he poured gold on the brother's head, melted him. I ain't like the brother. My brother ends up calling me and he's like, you need to turn on the news right now. Are you watching this? I was like, no, I'm watching Game of Thrones. And so I turn on CNN and I'm in shock. I'm seeing white folks. They've stormed the Capitol. They're climbing the wall like the immigrants do down there, the border wall. They're climbing the wall of the White House. And the whole world, no, I'm not going to say the whole world, but the whole America right now is just in shock. We've never seen anything like this. It's unprecedented. Social media is going crazy. They've taken over all the hashtags on Twitter. People are pointing out the disparities on how, this is white privilege, how all these white folks, these Trump supporters were able to storm the White House. Meanwhile, back in 2014, I remember doing a video of the Black woman. Her name was, I want to make sure I get her name right. Her name was Miriam Carey. And I remember doing this video about her on my news channel back in 2013. She took a wrong turn towards the White House and she was shot 5 times with her daughter in the back of the car. She was shot. You can't just pull up on the White House. So the way that people are being treated is definitely an eye-opener. But am I mad? Nah. I believe this is what they want. They want a civil war in this country. There's too much predictive programming that's been going on from the movies to the TV shows. This is what they want. They want there to be this big division. And you can blame Trump, you can blame the Democrats, you can blame whoever. But this is what they want, and it all started with the C-19. And this is where we're at now. You have people out here who are upset, who are mad. Businesses are shut down. People are losing their money, they're losing their livelihood. And now you have a group of people who feel like they're losing their country. And they don't know where to take that anger. So to them, they're going to project their anger, their frustrations, everything that we've been going through, and they're projecting it towards the government, towards the White House. And I feel like there's going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline. You know, a lot of people are holding Trump accountable for his words, because if you guys don't know, they had planned this Trump rally earlier today. So there are already people who had gathered on in Washington, D.C. for this march. And then at 2:24, Trump takes to Twitter and he says that Mike Pence, his own vice president, I was surprised, but I shouldn't be, because he's been calling out everybody on his team and throwing them under the bus. And basically says that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done. I believe that that was a dog whistle, and he can try and play crazy if he wants to. But I believe that was a dog whistle to his base that was ready there at Washington, D.C., that these people don't have my back. This election was stolen. Y'all do what y'all have to do. And they listened and they did it. And when I'm seeing pictures coming from the White House, I see people sitting in Nancy Pelosi's seat. I see, you know, people sitting in different lawmakers' offices. And I'm just like, we've just been thrown into anarchy, you know? And it's really frightening to look at this, because this is just the beginning. And, you know, every generation, there's a revolution. Maybe that's why I'm watching Game of Thrones. I don't know. But when people want to see change, there's going to be bloodshed. There's going to be war. There's going to be coups. And I think we are living in our own modern day, you know what I'm saying, Game of Thrones. It's a fight for the White House. It's a fight for, you know, American democracy, or what people deem as democracy. And I also believe that everything that's gone on, they're going to use this situation to, if they don't ban social media, they're going to use it to restrict. Because remember, I've been talking about this for a while. Remember when the Arab Spring happened back in like 2011, 2012, the Arab Spring? That didn't take place on the streets of Tunisia. It took place on Twitter. And each nation in the Middle East, those people rose against their dictators and their oppressors. And I believe this is the same thing that's happening here in America. And they're going to use this because these people came together via Twitter and Facebook and all these little groups. So they're going to use this as a way to punish everybody with social media and control it. Mark my words. It's getting scary out here. But like I've been telling y'all, prepare. Stay woke. Stay reading. Stay encouraged. You can't just be scared and hide under a rock. This is our reality. Let me read some of these comments here. Nikki Tikitabi says, every time you mention the Arab Spring, I get scared. Yeah, it's nothing to get scared about. It's just the reality of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are tired of the old way, and they're trying to usher in a new system. I believe all of this is part of the New World Order, and it's all manifesting. I've been saying for years now, we are fighting a spiritual battle. And people are tired. And when you start messing with people's livelihoods, when you start messing with how people communicate, how people deal with each other on a human basis, it's going to drive people crazy. When you say that you can't be near me, we have to be 6 feet apart. You have to feel other people's energy. When you bury somebody, you bury them 6 feet under. This is all a psychological mind game. And they will be ushering in martial law and everything else behind this. Trust and believe. And there's going to be people who are going to fight for what they believe in. They're not going to sit down and take it. And that's the scary part. So make sure you're prepared. Look, somebody said, who are the thugs now? Honey, had that been Black Lives Matter, they wouldn't even made it past that damn bush. Let's keep that real. All of this is happening for a reason. Let me go ahead and read this comment. Money Cash Lexus says it's crazy how they're able to pull guns in the Capitol. Glad to see you in 2021. Thank you so much, and it's a blessing seeing you here as well. Thank you for the super chat, love. Let's see here. Cammy Loves You says, girl, I'm loving the whole look. Very naturally beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you, sis. Ashley Miller Hayes says the author of the Game of Thrones wrote it to show the horrors of war and how it breaks people. The books are very political. Lovelyti. Thank you so much. I've never read the books, but maybe once I finish off this whole season, maybe I'll get into the books. But thank you so much. I'm really loving the show. I've always heard good things about the show, but like I said, it's not one of those type of shows that you can just, watch sporadically or be distracted. And because I'm fasting and I'm not stuffing my face because I need to lose some damn weight, okay, there's nothing to distract me right now. The only thing I'm drinking is just tea and lemonade. That's it. So my mind is very clear and I'm able to just really watch the show and it's holding my attention. So I'm happy for that. Let's see here. Karen Alderose says, wow, T, you look gorgeous. Loving the whole ensemble. Thank you so much, sis. Thank you for the super chat. Leela Black Modest says, they will always try to censor us, but evil will not win in the end. Keep exposing the new world order. Love you and stay safe. Thank you so much. And I definitely agree. AJ says, hey, T, where do you see the world in 20 years? Honestly, AJ, I don't know. It's scary when I think about the future, where if, God willing, I have grandchildren, what their life will look like, I have no idea. It's very scary to think about what our future is going to be. I watch a lot of things. Sometimes people take it because I say I don't watch other commentary channels. I'm not watching other people spill tea because that's what I do. People take that as me being arrogant or mean. I don't know why. But when I come on YouTube, the things I watch, and my Discorders, they can verify this. The things I watch on YouTube are documentaries. I watch things on AI. I watch things on futuristic. That's the stuff I'm really into. So for me, I feel like it's going to be a very bleak future because half of our jobs will not be here in the next 10 years. Those jobs are being replaced by robots and, AI. On top of that, what is going to happen with the income? Will we all be on what they call the universal basic income? I've been doing a lot of research on that. That seems to be coming down the pipeline as well. And if that comes down the pipeline, well, what makes you strive every day? What makes you want to do better? What makes you want to set a goal if no matter how good you are, you're going to be on the same income and job level as everybody else? So to me, the future, unfortunately, looks really bleak. While I love technology, you know what I'm saying? I come from an IT background. I love the fact that I can live stream and talk to thousands of people around the world. I also understand the dangers of technology and how we're putting technology even before humanity. And that's the part that's scary. So, yeah, I don't know where we're going to be in the future, but there has to be some type of change. Right now we're trying to normalize a lot of things. Soon they're getting rid of money. We're going into the digital currency. I've been talking about that for a while. Bitcoin and all that stuff is going to be the wave. We're having all these digital passports and digital vaccines. Everything is being brought in through technology. And that's what's scaring a lot of people right now. Because it's going to be a certain amount of the population that they're going to have access to certain technology and certain devices that the rest of the population will not have access to. What happens right? So like in Game of Thrones, let's go back to Game of Thrones. A human ruler can only rule for so long. Okay? A king can only rule for like maybe if they're lucky 20 years. But what happens when technology rules? What happens when you can't kill an AI or a robot? Those are just the things that I think about. Maybe I'm the weirdo who needs to get a life, but those are just some of the things that run in my mind. That's the part that's scary, because eventually a dictator dies. Technology doesn't. It's only getting stronger. Michelle 1979 says, "Hey, Lovelyti, my favorite person on YouTube. 2020 was scary, but I think things will get worse. Keep speaking your truth." Thank you so much for the super chat, sis. Appreciate you. You know, I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But you know, we can't let it stop us from being human and stop us from, you know, trying to find a positive side. But it is scary with all the stuff that's going on. It's very scary. And I feel like a lot of this is happening and they're allowing it to happen because that is what they want. Less than a few years ago, if you even drove crazy in front of the White House, you might catch a bullet. Now, all of a sudden, a bunch of angry supporters can just storm through the White House. And then when people are asking for the National Guard's help, Trump is saying, no, we don't want any National Guards being sent out. If y'all don't see the play here, I don't know what else to tell y'all. Unknown 20 sent $4.99 and says, "Hey T, I love your channel. It's really scary. The TV shows and movies are coming to reality. I hope you stay safe and blessed." They are. They definitely are. That predictive programming. There was a movie. What was the movie I just seen? Somebody not even mentioning the damn Simpsons and everything that they stay, you know, predicting. But there's a movie about the White House. It's two movies actually. Let me see if I can find it. One was with Jamie Foxx. Maybe y'all can write it in there. But it's two movies, and they came out in 2013 and 2016, and they're about the White House uprising. One is White House Down. That's one of them. And the other one is Olympus. That's the other movie. Olympus and White House Down. And these movies were made years ago. Again, predictive programming. Carla Celia says, "Hey T, everything you're saying, my husband says, and he's into IT. They're also getting into cryptocurrency." Yes. And money will be, you know what I'm saying, implanted. Everything you need. Because remember, everybody wants to be hip and, you know, you want the latest this and that. Eventually, you will merge with the machine. And, you know, the chip will be in your hand. And that is how you will get your groceries and your food, you know, just like in the Bible. And when you misbehave, just like in China with their social credit system, you will be punished. And you may not be able to shop or fly or leave the country. All of this stuff is coming down the pipeline. And they're going to use instances like this to say that this is why we need this. This is why we need to watch these people. Because they're crazy and they want to overthrow the government. So Cena Tedway says, "Technology before humanity." You mean like the robot who got the citizenship? What country was that in? I want to say, I know it was in a Middle Eastern country where women weren't even allowed to drive, but they gave the robot citizenship. That was crazy. I think Saudi Arabia. I believe that's where it took place. Let's see here. Kimberly Parkinson sent $99.99. Thank you so much, Kimberly. She says, "Looking gorgeous as ever, hun. I barely get to catch your lives because I work as an RN. Thank you for shedding love and light as always. I'm a longtime tea sipper T. Can you please let me in the Discord? I got my $5 ready. Promise to bring good vibes." Thank you so much, Kimberly. At this point, we're not letting anybody on the Discord. It will be open again, but I don't know when. So, but, you know, I'll keep you posted, but thank you so much. And thank you for being an essential worker. You're very much appreciated, sis. Let's see here. Deborah Mitchell says, I live 10 minutes away and I work 2 blocks away from Capitol Hill. This is insane. Luckily, I worked from home today, shaking my head. I'm glad that you're okay. It's definitely getting ugly. I know the DC mayor recently just spoke. That's what I was watching. That's why I kept having to push the stream back. I'm trying to watch what's being said. And you guys are going into a mandatory curfew at 6 o'clock p.m. And they stated if anybody's out and about in DC, you will be arrested. No questions asked. So, yeah, they're like cracking down right now. Bree from NYC says, hey, T, sending love as always. This is why you're one of my favorite YouTubers, because you keep it real. Look up the range video game called Watch Dogs. It's a preview of what technology can become. Wow. Thank you so much, Bree. I appreciate you, sis. Brooke Portley Santan says, you look gorgeous. Ancient Aliens, New World Order Part 2. It came out in 2016. They called all the events that transpired. This is the start of the revolution. Keep speaking the truth, sis. Amen. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, this is what that is. That's why I'm not mad. I feel no ways. I'm not feeding into the whole racial divide of it, because that's what they want. This is a revolution. And this is the beginning of that. And you're going to see a bunch of fallout behind this. So I'm just sitting here watching. I got my teacup in hand. I'm just sitting here watching all this shit play out. But it's going to be more of this. And I also, before I came on live, they were saying that other people in other cities were also trying to storm their capitals as well. So I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. Kiki West 2001 says, I keep telling folks to invest in crypto. Just last July, AAVE was under 0.8 cents. Now it's over $113 per coin. Bitcoin is now over 36K per coin. Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, though, people have to research it. I mean, I don't blame people for kind of being hesitant, because, I mean, let's keep it real. The people who have made money off of Bitcoins, they're the ones who got in early. So if you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you know, it's going to be a lot harder for you to, you know, be able to seek any of those benefits or reap any of those benefits. So that's the part I think that has people really nervous about switching over to cryptocurrency. Baby girl Lily says, I'm late, but I'm here. The DMV is crazy. And I just got home. It's crazy. I'm feeling some sort of way with the way people are being treated. If they were blacks on the street, if they were black, the streets would be running red. Oh yeah, they're definitely treating them a lot different than they treated when the Black Lives Matter protesters went up there this summer. They were there with armed guards on the steps versus how they just allowed these people to come in. I mean, I can show y'all videos of them breaking windows trying to get into the White House, which I'm going to show y'all in a second here. Tanshiable says, missed you. You are beautiful as always. Keep speaking the truth. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming through, sis. Vimy Pilar says, did you see the movie with Justin Timberlake? I forgot the name, but they did currency with time on their arm. No, I don't think I've ever watched any Justin Timberlake movies, except for the Facebook one I believe he was in. But thank you for the super chat. Colisha says last year was the year of Aquarius, meaning a lot of shift and unveiling. This year is the year of Capricorn, and they are finna revolt. I gotta read up more on that. Thank you though for the super chat. Michelle K says, I hope we don't end up like the movie called In Time with Justin Timberlake. Okay, so that's the name of the movie. Did that come out recently? Now that I think about it, it's kind of like a end of the, like, it's like apocalyptic, and they're like shooting aliens, and there's like people running after them. Because the name of it sounds familiar. Miss Atlanta Gossip says, hair on point. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Tatiana Jackson says, sorry to change the subject, but if you don't get off our next coming on here all beautiful all the time, I had to catch the playback later. Have to get ready for work. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, sis. Mentor Shelley says the same supporters are at the Georgia Capitol as well with guns. Oh, wow. Now earlier, the House Chamber. I still got my TV on, but earlier they were like in a different city. It wasn't Georgia, so it looks like they're definitely going to different state capitals. This is the catalyst. This is the spark. So you're going to see more of this. But let me go ahead and show you guys just some of the video that I was posting on social media here. When they were going back and when they were like breaking into the White House and stuff. I was just in shock watching all this play out. Like I said, this is stuff that I would have never imagined as a kid that would play out, you know, during my lifetime. Let me open this here. Okay. So this was the first video here. So this is them walking into the White House, and you see like reporters, you see police officers. Then this guy here is in Nancy Pelosi's seat, which to me is just insane that they're even allowed to do that. Then oh, I'm sorry. I keep saying the White House Capitol. Stop the steal! 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 Here we go! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop! And then this is what he said. He says, I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Which was just insane that he would even say that. Then this was the video.
I've never seen nothing like this, you guys. Which is just unbelievable that my brother just called me, was like, turn on the news now. They're breaking in. Look like law enforcement with their arms drawn. We're actually looking at video right now of these anarchists interaction.
Where's the tear gas? Where's the rubber bullets? They are breaking into the White House.
In the United States Capitol, and now they are climbing through the window. This happened moments ago on the grounds of the United States Capitol.
This is crazy. Well, somebody got shot.
Control this has gotten, Jake. A woman is now in critical condition after being shot in the chest on the Capitol grounds. This is according to two sources familiar with the matter. The sources couldn't provide any further details on the circumstances of the shooting, but sources I've spoken to and to my colleague Noah Gray are telling us that there were shots fired there on the Capitol grounds, and they additionally add that a woman is now in critical condition after being shot in the chest on Capitol grounds. Again,
all right, so like I said, this world, especially with the whole demon time and alcohol and spirits. Thank you. You are more than welcome. And I'm so glad that I was just able to, you know, give you something for your edification. Like that means a lot to me. You know, we are fighting definitely a spiritual war. And even though, yeah, it probably would have been cool if I'd have just been quiet and just took it as, oh, you know, it's just the same. It didn't feel right in my spirit, so I just had to speak the truth about the whole demon time thing. And I've noticed a lot of people, a lot of these celebrities have stopped using that term. They don't use it as much as they did this summer because they realized that words have power, and you guys were invoking a lot of, you know, negativity on yourselves. Hence all the damn rappers who got killed in 2020. So thank you so much for that. Book of Ronan sends 10, says, looking great, T, quietly watching and assessing everything. A great deal to learn and speak on later. We'll talk. Stay safe, everyone. Definitely. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Double-Edged Sword sent 20, says, Terminator movies have been telling us about the machine takeover. Humankind and our souls are being tested. Love you, T. Hit the like, y'all. Yes, please hit the like. Definitely do that. Oh yeah, a lot of it. It's so crazy when we think about all the movies that we grew up loving. It's like hindsight is so 2020. You know, and it's like you grow up on these movies and you just think that they're movies. And it's insane how, like, 10, 15, 20 years later, all of this stuff is coming to pass. It's crazy the more that you sit and you think about it. Drea Lynette sent 15, says, hey, beautiful, love your content. Thanks for covering this craziness. By the way, I lost 35 pounds during quarantine with intermittent fasting. Beware of those trying to discourage your IF progress. Blessings. Thank you so much. I had lost weight with that too, and then I gained it right back. You know what I mean? I was just, when I stress eat. And that's the problem. I've been very stressed just with everything that's just been going on. I take on a lot of energy and just stuff from people. And so I stress eat. You know what I'm saying? I'll be up at 1, 2 in the morning, like I should be asleep, and I'm snacking, so that all ends. I was like, come the new year, I have to stop that because it doesn't make you feel good. You gain weight. I want my damn ass back. I want to be able to wear a crop top. Okay. So I want to lose about 20 pounds, which I will, you know what I'm saying? I just got to stick to it. But yeah, IF was wonderful. And I will go back to IF once I get done fasting. But I also need to fast for just spiritual reasons as well. You know what I'm saying? I needed mental clarity because I need to be prepared for what's coming on in 2021 because it's going to be some shit coming down the pipeline. But thank you, sis. Chan Thorne says, this is all a movie. The man with the horn hat is a known Antifa guy. They're playing both sides against the middle. Only violence when Antifa is there. Yeah, a lot of these guys are characters, and they seem to always escape getting locked up and going to jail. So let's see here. Marcus, the CEO, says, haven't been in the live in a while. I've got some catching up to do. Hope you're doing good, T. I'm doing good. Thank you so much for the super chat and thanks for coming through. Let's see here. Jojo says, these Trump supporters, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, this is not okay. It's a reflection of Trump's actions and his followers blindly supporting him. A stolen election. What the F? Love you, T. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Yeah, they think that the election was stolen. They don't believe that Joe Biden is president. They feel like this was all, a coup to get rid of Trump. And they feel strongly about that, so like I said, this whole world is just going crazy at this point. And the thing is, the way the stage looks to the rest of the world, it shows that America is literally falling by the wayside. When the rest of the world used to look at America, they used to put America on such a high pedestal. So this is not a good look as far as, the foreign people looking at, the foreign governments are looking at all this play out. This is really no different than the Arab Spring. So sometimes we think we're kind of above certain things, but 2020 has shown us that we're not at all. Blank Space says, Pedo Bear Biden is a crook. However, violence is not the way. Thank you so much for the super chat, love. Let's see here. Hyde 4L says, hey, T, Happy New Year. Thank you for going live today and being real. You are a blessing to many of us. Also, you're going to love the Game of Thrones. Thank you so much. And I am. I'm really liking it. From the first episode, it captivated me. So, and I'm talking about, I started last night and I'm already on episode 7. So I just been laying watching this. So I really like it. So thank you. Let's see here. Lachey Monroe says, I wonder if the ones that are protesting and busting windows support Kaepernick. Where's your respect for the boys in blue in our country now when the injustice affects you? It hits different, huh? Exactly. Mimi Sam 499 says, you look beautiful, T. That is all. Thank you so much, Mimi. Rump Pocky says, T, there's a new anime that has all these themes: virtual money, protests, criminals / citizens versus the police, virtual life, etc. It's called Akudama Drive. Okay. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Outlooker says America is experiencing its karma. In the comments, Deshaun Walker says the U.S. is finally falling. Maria Diaz says, when was America first anything besides the moon landing? Shania Golden says, yes, Game of Thrones is the best show aside from Power. I'm so late to this, but I'm so happy to like finally understand what people are saying when they talk about it. So I'm super stoked. Yes, they did shoot a woman. From what I'm hearing, she got shot in the chest, and then I seen somebody in the Discord, they were posting like the picture because I guess this was being streamed, and there was like blood gushing out of her neck. Oh, hell, that reminded me of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is extremely violent, and then they have a lot of incest in there. That I just realized that the queen and the brother are twins. And honey, I'm learning a lot from this show. And it's very, very violent, though. That's the one thing I'm trying to get used to with the Game of Thrones. Oh, now America KKK. You know, America with the 3 Ks, that's trending now. So, yeah, this is going to be, it's getting darker now in D.C. It's about 5:30 there. The police are out now, but there's still a bunch of Trump supporters outside. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting night, you guys. Very interesting. So I want to go ahead and also talk about some of the other topics we wanted to hit on. We got about 12,000 people in the house. Thank you guys for joining me right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, it's going to be very crazy. Everything that's going to come from this. Mark my words. They're going to use this situation to like double down, to like really censor the internet, to make it where people can't, you know, they're going to be monitoring stuff so much more, and they're going to use this to usher it in. I just find it very interesting that all these people are just able to like break windows and get inside the Capitol. I find that very interesting. I don't know. Look, somebody says the cops were taking selfies with these terrorists. Yeah, I saw some really interesting pictures on Twitter. Very interesting. Trying to see if I can show y'all some of these pictures. Oh, holding hand in hand with one of the protesters, making sure she gets down the steps safely. Interesting. Helping a let me show y'all this shit. My Twitter is jumping. Let me show y'all this. He is helping one of the rioters down the steps. She just broke in. Should she not be arrested? Or am I tripping? Here goes some more pictures. Let me just go ahead and show you. This is right here in the White House. This is them here taking selfies, pictures. I mean, I get it. If I was there, I'd probably take a damn selfie too, just to say that I was there. But damn, this is crazy. This is America. I forget whose office he's in, but that's somebody's legit office. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, this dude, he's still in a whole podium and waving. But yet and still, when he came out with his message, it was all a message about peace and love and, you know, oh, we love you guys and just be careful. Look at this. This is insane. Now, this was during Black Lives Matter, when they wanted to protest peacefully around the Capitol. They were suited and booted. They came ready. So that's very interesting, the way they were when Black Lives Matter was coming. So a lot of people are saying this is white privilege. I don't know what's wrong with this person. I don't know what that's about, but he's laid out on the steps. And here you see like more police officers. You see the Trump folks. Nobody spraying them with mace. Yeah, this is crazy. Here they go fighting. Not a rubber bullet or tear gas in sight. Let's see what's going on here.
ACAF, 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 ACAF. That I have. ACAF, 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 ACAF.
Watch, they're taking the
That I have. ACAF, ACAF.
Oh my God. If y'all don't see what it is, they're taking selfies with these people. That is insane. They're helping them down the steps. This is what they want. Not a rubber bullet in sight, not no tear gas in sight, taking selfies, helping them down the steps. They're able to take selfies inside of, people's offices, sitting on Nancy Pelosi's desk. That is the ultimate version of privilege. But these same folks will swear up and down that it doesn't exist. Oh, there's no such thing as privilege. You're just mad. No, that is privilege right there. When you can commit a crime and they help you down the steps to get back to, to the ground, so they make sure that you don't trip and fall. When you can commit a crime and they still want to take a selfie with you. These people shouldn't be there. This wasn't a photo op moment for the police that are being paid with taxpayer dollars. That doesn't make any sense to me. Thank you, Aaron Young, for the $9.99. I appreciate you, sis. Leah Hughes sent $9.99. Thank you so much. Denise Marie says, I think those who stormed the White House are actors present during 9/11, attack on the Pentagon, etc. Far-fetched, but reminds me of an animated movie taking place in Japan. Vexil, I'm not sure how to pronounce it either. Thank you so much for the super chat, sis. I appreciate it. DV Tud 904 says, I don't understand if the election was stolen, how the rest of the Trump comrades were elected down ballot. I have no idea. You're asking for logic from people who are illogical. So I don't know. Let's see here. Danae Omega says, America is that pig with makeup on. I swear this was an inside job. The response alone should let you know the markings are on the wall. Thank you so much. Des Curley says, the movie Sorry to Bother You touches heavily on universal basic income and how it's basically slavery. Thank you so much for the super chat. Ishi says, those Trump thugs have the color of protection. Yeah, they definitely got something going on there. Because like I said, the whole situation, the way it went down just does not make sense. Mr. GC15 sent 20 says, why does all this seem planned and a distraction from this New York State Assembly bill? A416, which was also today. It's literally Songbird in real life. They already set up shop in Canada. I also love watching Z Nation on Netflix. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Oh, I clicked on somebody's name. Neek says the police were told not to use any force. I don't know how to find her name. Here we go. Thank you so much for that. Coena says this was all staged, a part of the agenda. Somebody else says, not actors, these are crazy Trump supporters. Yeah, it's something. I'm not saying these people are actors because these are, real supporters, but it's something there that just does not make sense. how these people were able to get away with it. Granted, it was a lot of people. It had been like, I'm assuming from the looks of the crowd earlier, it was at least 3,000 to 5,000 people because they were storming all over. So I don't know. Malcolm says T equals the Black Mona Lisa. T Nalisa. Thank you. Y'all are a mess. Okay, so I've been on here for 47 minutes. This stream has gone by so quick. So I do want to hit on the whole Kanye West situation with Kim Kardashian and Jeffree Star before I leave. So let me go ahead and talk about that real quick. So if you guys don't know, it was announced yesterday that Kim and Kanye are officially divorcing. I'm not shocked at all. We haven't seen them together in months, and they seem to be in two different worlds. You know, Kanye's trying to find himself. Kim is also trying to find herself. She's getting really deep into justice reform, and she wants to be a lawyer. Meanwhile, Kanye is going the more religious route. So it seems like they just can't get together. So I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys this article. So give me just a second here. Okay, so they're saying here that Kanye is completely over the entire family. He wants nothing to do with them. He found their reality TV series, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, unbearable. They're also saying that E! News confirmed that the couple is ending their marriage, but that their insiders explained that they haven't actually filed for divorce. Kim wants to make sure she's making the right decision for the kids. It's gotten to the point where they haven't spent time together as a married couple in months, they added. They've seen each other for the sake of the kids, but have been living separately. Kim knows the marriage is over, and she's known for a while. Then they go on to say, when it comes to Kanye's appearances at Kim's recent birthday celebration, Page 6 says he showed up late and left early. He wouldn't appear in any of their Instagram shots. All he did was bring over a hologram of her father, Robert Kardashian, then got out of there as fast as he could. Now, I'm not surprised that they're breaking up because I feel like for a while they've been on two different pages. And let's keep it real. I believe that the relationship came together off of it was off of vanity. Kim was still married at the time to Chris Humphries, you know, and I think the reason why they ended up staying together is because Kim got pregnant. Because remember, it was just supposed to be like a little, you know, booty call thing. That was supposed to be her little side dude while she kind of, you know, figured stuff out with Chris Humphries and went through that little divorce situation. And he had been trying to holler at Kim Kardashian since he was with Amber Rose. So I don't feel like they got together on a really genuine foot. And that's why they've just never really been able to work. And it's like Kanye has tried to change himself to fit in with that family, and it just hasn't worked. And I will say that Kim has grown a lot since when she first, you know, hit the scenes. You know, now she's trying to get into justice reform, like I said before. And I just feel like it's taking them on two different paths. But because they have so many kids together, it makes it hard to just, you know, separate. But now this is how Jeffree Star fits into this bullshit, right? So as we all know, Kanye West has been living in Wyoming just because he wants to get away from LA. He wants away from the fast city life. And Jeffree Star recently sold his mansion in LA, and he moved to Wyoming as well. So there's this random girl on TikTok, and basically she's going around. Her name is Ava Louise. And so she started a rumor that because Kanye lives in Wyoming and Jeffree Star lives in Wyoming, that somehow they're having a physical relationship. And because, you know, now anybody can be a news reporter, anybody can do commentary. You don't need any type of proof. There's no, you know, there's no ethics. And so people ran with this story. So now, you know, they're trying to say that Kanye West and Jeffree Star are messing around. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys her initial video that went viral. And then Jeffree Star had the nerve to play into it today. And so today, Jeffree Star comes on Twitter because, again, we can't have the White House and real shit trending and me not trying to trend too. So Jeffree Star decides to say, I'm ready for Sunday service, where, you know, we all know that means that's an ode to Kanye West because he does a whole Sunday service thing with his church and stuff like that on Sundays. So he was being very, very messy when he did that. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys the video of this girl reporting this so-called news story. So give me just a second here. Okay, so this was her first video where she talked about it.
I feel like I can spill the tea that I've been holding on to for months. This whole divorce comes as no surprise. Kanye's been hooking up with a very famous beauty guru, male beauty guru. A lot of people in the scene have known for a while. Now that Kim's finally doing this, I feel like I can spill the tea that I've been holding on to for months. This whole divorce comes as no surprise. Kanye's been hooking up with a very famous beauty guru, male beauty guru. A lot of people in the scene have known for a while.
Okay, so now let me show y'all. So then people started running with
Did Kanye West cheat on Kim Kardashian with Jeffree Star? This rumor has people shook on social media right now. Let's talk about it. So this rumor starts with the fact that Kanye has been living exclusively at him and Kim's Wyoming ranch for the last month while their divorce plays out peacefully, which is what they wanted for their kids. He also spent a lot of time there with his friends over the summer while all of his election stuff was going on. Here comes in this viral TikTok with this girl sharing that she has exclusive information about Kanye's infidelity.
Nope. This whole divorce comes as no surprise. Kanye's been hooking up with a very famous beauty guru, male beauty guru. A lot of people in the scene have known for a while.
Continuing, we all know Kanye West has been at his ranch over the summer and the last month, but guess what other beauty guru announced he was moving to Wyoming in August and now lives there? Jeffree Star. Ava Louise said that her friend is a great lawyer and met with Kim over the summer. Apparently, Kim gave the unnamed lawyer all the evidence that Kanye was cheating on her with Jeffree Star and was planning to file for divorce. Also, if Kanye was hooking up with a male beauty guru, him and Jeffree live in the same gated community, and now both happen to live in Wyoming. These are unconfirmed rumors. Did Kanye West cheat on Kim Kardashian with Jeffree?
Now, listen to what she has to say today now that Jeffree Star has come out.
And you guys thought I was fucking capping. Kris Jenner, listen up. Give Kanye West his phone right now. I need a Twitter rampage about this. And you guys thought I was fucking capping. Kris Jenner, listen up. Give Kanye West his phone right now. I need a Twitter rampage about this.
Y'all, let me come back on the screen. When I tell y'all attention seeking and clout chasing should be classified as a mental illness at this point. Like, who just makes up this story and then she's talking like she really has legitimate proof, like she knows the ins and out. You know, it's like, I don't find it funny. It's bad enough they're going through a divorce, they're going through a separation. Why would you sit there and add that he's sleeping with Jeffree Star? I don't know what Kanye does in his bedroom or who he messes with, but it's just a lie. And I feel like I would not be surprised if somewhere Jeffree was behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Just like telling her things to say, feeding her information. And Jeffree should be ashamed of himself that he would feed into this mess by saying that he's ready for Sunday service. You know, so it's a shame that these two can't even go, you know, separate and divorce in peace without folks trying to start these unfounded rumors. You know, she better hope she doesn't get sued, because one thing about the Kardashians, one thing I've learned from them, they don't give a damn how broke you are. You cannot have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They will sue your ass. Okay, so I would not be shocked if she receives a lot, you know, some lawsuit paperwork in the future. They have been known to sue bloggers. They've been known to sue a lot of people. And they don't care how broke you are. They're coming for that damn PlayStation 5. Okay? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But I you know, to me, that's just total bullshit. And the fact that you have like legitimate news sources, even printing this, when it really should have just been left on Twitter. I mean, not on TikTok. But you have like legitimate news sources printing this, saying, oh my God, do you feel like there might be something going on between Jeffree Star and Kanye West? And it's like, really? Y'all are really feeding into this because of this girl just made up a bunch of shit? That whole situation's a hot damn mess. Let me go ahead and read these comments here. Tatiana Richards sent $50. She says, I'm a police officer, and every last one of those officers need to be relieved of their duties permanently. Doesn't matter what agency you work for. We all took an oath to uphold the law. This is a disgrace and sickening. Wow. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat, Tatiana. I appreciate it. And thank you for being not only an essential worker, but for putting your life on the line every day. Thank you so much. You were very much appreciated. So that is coming from a police officer who does not co-sign or respect what those officers did in Washington, D.C. So that is deep. Thank you so much for that. Lioness sent 20 says, you give me life, sis. I'm an introvert, but I'm ready to step out. Hashtag Leo gang. I know that's right. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. Love is what made us, not lust. That's a deep name, honey. She sent 5. She says, made it to your live. Love you. Been watching you since you had a desktop. Good work, T. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat, sis. Patricia Austin sent 20, says, hey, beautiful, just getting home. I will catch the playback. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe. I love you and your realness. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. So, yeah, this whole situation is a mess. You know, just everything that's gone on today, everything that, you know, the rumors that are going on with Jeffree Star and Kanye West, which I just think is complete BS. Before I go, I also wanted to touch on the Will.i.am situation really quick. For y'all who don't know, because I've been on here an hour now, Will.i.am did an interview. I guess Wyclef has a podcast or something. So they did like a live stream the other day. And Will.i.am was literally, you know, trying not to cry tattooed tears. He's upset that even with all the critical acclaim that him and the Black Eyed Peas have, he's mad that people don't consider the Black Eyed Peas to be a Black group. You know what? 2021 has only been here for 6 days, and I'm already tired, and I'm already exhausted. I'm gonna play y'all this video. Y'all gotta watch it. You can't make this up. He's literally upset that Black Eyed Peas is not considered a Black group. Really? Let me see if I can find the video. Give me just a second here. This dude is a trip. Okay, here's the video. Let me go ahead and play for you guys here.
If you were Panasonic headphones or Sony headphones, you didn't know Beats was just gonna come and take your lunch.
Facts.
And so in 2004, Black Eyed Peas, we were just trying to get on. You know, we're not like, when you think of, like, I'm a Black dude, but when you think of Black Eyed Peas, we got so big that, and it hurts, it kind of hurt it still hurts a little bit. Like, we're not considered a Black group because we got that big. And when you think of Black Eyed Peas, you don't think of, it's no longer like urban or Black culture, which is it's not good for the Black community that Black Eyed Peas is not looked at as a Black group, because we've had international success, and that should be credited to the Black community, more so than letting it be adopted. But that's just a thing that we suffer from all the time. Like, when you think of jazz, you no longer think of Black anymore. When you think of rock and roll, you don't think of Black anymore. Like that, all that. I don't know why we have that. When you think of even country, you don't think of Black. Like, a lot of the things that we create and we invent, we dispose of, or it gets stolen from us to the point where there's no association to its origins.
Sir, shut the fuck up. First of all, do y'all see Wyclef's face? Let me come back on screen. Wyclef looked like he was over it. Because, like, you sound stupid, Will.i.am. Do you think that your group is the Fugees? How are you crying and even trying to compare your legacy and say that you're upset because the Black community doesn't see you as a Black group? And everything that we as Black people work hard for, it gets stolen. From rock and roll to country music. When you think country, you don't even think of Black people. Do you hear yourself? You're not the Fugees, my guy. You are the token black guy in the group. will.i.am was the only black guy in the group. Fergie was the white girl. There was an Asian guy, and there was a Mexican guy. I don't know their name. I apologize. I don't know their name. I mean, no, I don't know. I don't know their names. All I know is that when I see Black Eyed Peas, they're a mixed group. Just think about, imagine if the Asian guy in Black Eyed Peas sat there on his soapbox and interviewed, like, you know, a K-pop group. It was like, oh, I'm so sad that I'm so upset that nobody considers Black Eyed Peas an Asian group. The K-pop people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? You got a black man in the group, you got a white, like, the fact that he's even trying to justify this and make it look like, you know, it's black people's fault, or like, you know, we're wrong for not, you know, seeing his group as a black group. You're not a black group. You're a mixed group, and that's okay. I hate when people get all these accolades, when they get all this notoriety, money, and fame, and then want to act like they're so butthurt after the fact. Were you crying about us seeing you as a black group when you was winning Grammys and you were performing everywhere making millions of dollars? You didn't give a shit. You were getting your check. So keep on getting your check and shut the fuck up. Your argument doesn't even make any sense. And then I found out, okay, that Fergie wasn't even the original member. They replaced the black woman. Her name was Kim. She was the original singer in Black Eyed Peas. It was a black woman. And they got rid of her and replaced her with Fergie. Her name was Kim Hill. So my thing is this. If you didn't even respect the black woman that was in your group, why are you trying to come at us like we're foul for not seeing your group as a black group? So you're not a black group. You're a multiracial group, and that's fine. Stop the foolishness and stop trying to insult people's intelligence. This is the same group that had a song out called Latinas. You guys are not a black group. See, the problem is everybody wants to be woke now. See, it's cool to be woke now. Everybody wants to be woke and pro-black and all this other stuff. So now that Black Eyed Peas aren't really, you know, they're not really hitting like they were back then. They had some bops, don't get me wrong. Where is the love? They had some bops. But who's thinking about Black Eyed Peas in 2021? Not me, shit. And I think because nobody's thinking about them, now he's trying to go the pro-black route. But what you're not going to do is blame black people for not seeing you as a black group when you're the only member of said group. Some of these celebrities, man, they're full of crap. And they love to put the blame on the black community as if we're wrong. Like our eyes are deceiving us. When I see your group, I see a black man, a Mexican man, an Asian, and a white woman. So why like, where am I supposed to see it? Where am I supposed to like feel a connection that this is black music or that these are black people? He's goofy. Wyclef was looking like he wanted to say something so bad. See, that's the difference. See, will.i.am couldn't have came on the Lovelyti podcast because I'd have had him to task. Wyclef is just sitting there. And I wait for Wyclef to say something like, Wyclef, you had one of the best black groups, okay, of the damn 90s. Fugees. Ooh la la la. It's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Oh, let me stop. I'll be forgetting that DMCA. They might try and claim this shit. He had one of the best black groups and he sat there and just made faces. I'm like, Wyclef, you don't check him and let him know that his group is not black. That is why we don't consider him black. Not him, but like, you know, his group black. Like, will.i.am, you're black. Your group is not black. I don't understand why that's hard for you to comprehend. You seem like a really smart man. That's insane. Let's see here. D Flippot sent 20 says, hey, T, come to Canada. You'll be welcome in my house. You seem like the shit now. It seems like this shit is scary now. Thank you so much. I might need to come to your house, honey. So thank you for the invite. I appreciate it. Because the way America's looking, we might need to come over the border and come stay with you. Tom Tim Entertainment says, my city is Alexandria, Virginia. They're under curfew. This is 2020. This is why 2020 ain't got nothing on 2021. Thank you so much for the super chat, love. Jarrell Deshad, I hope I said that name correct, says, I stopped editing my video because I got a notification that you were live. I'm late, but I'm glad I caught you. You look beautiful. My name is Jarrell Herrele. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the super chat, and thank you for showing me how to pronounce it. The spelling is beautiful. Very beautiful spelling. But yeah, like this dude, he's a clown for that. You know, and then when I found out about the one woman, I guess somebody said it was 2 black women. Well, I only knew about the one. But when I found out that she was there first and they replaced her. And from what I'm hearing, they're saying that she was replaced because they didn't want the group to be too black. So what are you talking about? You didn't want the group to be too black initially, and y'all replaced it with Fergie. And Fergie did her thing, but it's just like I don't understand. Like where are these tattooed tears coming from now? So we're supposed to like rewrite history. We're supposed to just allow our eyes to to deceive us and just say, oh, okay, oh, I guess we're wrong. It is a black group. Absolutely not. Goofy. Let's see here. Oh, somebody said, T, the lady who got shot has died. Rest in peace to her. That's sad. Rest in peace to her. I'm sure she didn't expect that when she broke into the White House. Again, that's part of revolution. There will be bloodshed. So, rest in peace to her. Let's see here. Infinite Fanny says he sat up there and tried to play on my intelligence. He really did. Like, I was so offended. And it was even worse because it's like, that's why I say that celebrities don't need to be interviewing each other on podcasts. Like, you got to decide. Either you're going to be the celebrity, or you're going to be the media person, because the fact that he just sat there and ran, and that was just a 1-minute clip. The man talked for at least, 30 minutes about how this is a black group. And he just went unchecked and unchallenged. And that's the part I can't stand when I watch these celebrity podcasts, because how can you just not challenge that? How can you not just stop him in his tracks and say, bro, like, you're not even making any sense. You're the only black man in the group. Period. Let's see here. The Jamaican sent $49.99. Thank you so much. Says, oh my God, this ratchet country almost had me missing the real you be spilling. Let me sip. Love you, T. Love you too. And thank you so much for coming through, sis. Thank you for the super chat. I'm just saying, sent 5 and says he's trying to use the power of the Jedi on us. He wants us to forget about the original black girl in the group. Foolishness. Exactly. Coriana says today in Quebec, Canada, there's a new curfew for a whole month. From January 9th to February 9th. Man, this is insane, all this stuff that's going on globally. I mean, curfews, lockdowns. They're even saying like certain pubs, like in Europe, like in Ireland and in the UK, that they're being told they can't serve liquor because supposedly liquor makes you more susceptible to C-19. They're just pulling anything out of the air now at this point to control the people. That is scary. Like all of these curfews and lockdowns. It's not like I go out a lot or like I hang out every day till 2, 3 in the morning. But if I want to hang out till 2, 3 in the morning and roam the streets of downtown Minneapolis, I should be allowed to, as long as I'm not hurting anybody. Like, this is really insane. Like, just all these laws and things that are being put in place towards grown people who pay taxes. This is really scary. Thank you so much for the super chat. Constance James says, hey, Auntie, my daughter and I are sipping and finally caught a live. She's 5 months. Oh, sorry, it's not much. We love you. Love you too. And thank you for the super chat. Such a sweet, innocent age, 5 months old. Oh, and she's in this crazy world. I just feel, I feel bad for like all the babies, all like the little children, because it's like they're just being born into like chaos. And, it's like nobody knows what's going to happen. All we can do is just, try and stay positive and pray, honey. Jojo sent $9 and said, will.i.am needs to have several seats. What's wrong with him? This is off topic, but T, what do you think about the Eminem and Snoop Dogg situation? Honestly, I kind of feel like there might be like a tinge of jealousy or something, because it's like out of all the people that Snoop is going at, it's Eminem. And maybe because he's not, Snoop Dogg has done his own thing in his own right, don't get me wrong. But I think he gets upset because he's not seen on the same caliber of lyricism as Eminem. Because Eminem is crazy lyrical, but Snoop is lyrical too. And Snoop is a hell of a freestyler. People don't, sometimes people forget that. That's how he first started, was freestyling. And I think because he doesn't get as much props, it bothers him. And now he's just like, fuck it. I'm going to just say what I got to say, but do I think they're going to come to blows? No. And probably some of this is for attention as well. And they'll probably end up talking it out and, squashing the little miniature beef. But again, this is what happens when we act like the white man's ice is colder. And when we constantly praise somebody for doing the same thing that many Black artists who are just as talented and who have been doing, so many people give Eminem so much props lyrically. And you have a lot of Black artists who are just as lyrical, who are just as fire, who can freestyle, and they're never seen on the same level as an Eminem. So I think it's just bothered Snoop over the years, and he's letting it just, he's just letting it go, and he's talking about it. Now, I also heard that Dr. Dre, he ended up having like a aneurysm or something like that. He ended up in the hospital yesterday, but supposedly he's doing a lot better. Dr. Dre needs to make amends with all of the people that he's hurt. And I'm not saying this to be funny or to be disrespectful. I'm glad that he's okay. I don't want anything to happen to anybody. But I hope this is a wake-up call to him to let him know that no matter how many supplements you take, no matter how much you work out, no matter how buff you are, Dr. Dre, you need to make amends. You need to, not only did you usher in, gangster rap and it helped to destroy a whole generation. We're not even going to talk about that. But just the fact that he's a father to all of these children, okay? And you've basically ignored them, didn't take care of them. Even if you sent support, you were not there. You were not a father to a lot of these kids who were there before your two children with Nicole. You also put your hands on Michelle and numerous women. So I hope Dr. Dre wakes up and realizes that life is short, nobody's immortal, and that he makes amends with all of the people that he's hurt. I hope that this is his wake-up call, because that arrogance is only going to get you so far. So I hope he makes amends. I'm just keeping it real. I seen everybody, crying tattooed tears. My mind went to, I hope he made amends with his daughter and his children who are crying for their father. Folks don't want to talk about that, though. Now, Cry-Reese, aka Tyrese, I heard him and his black queen are getting divorced. Now, I'm laughing just because, not because of the situation, because divorce is not funny, but I'm laughing because I remember how Tyrese just went out his way to just, constantly poke at black women and call this woman his black queen. Even she had to come out and defend herself and say, I don't know what's wrong with my husband. I'm not black. I wish he would stop that. It's disrespectful, and it seems now that his black queen has gotten tired of his ass. And she said in her divorce paperwork that he locked her and the baby out of the house and, took her car and all types of shit away. So I don't know. It's not my fight, but I am going to sit back and watch, sip tea like I am with everybody else. I'm going to sit back and sip tea, but yeah, I feel no ways. Because he thought once he got married to this, his black queen, quote unquote, his words, not mine, that all his problems will be solved. Problems are not solved by looks. Problems are not solved by body, eye color, hair texture. Okay? Problems are solved by talking and really getting to know each other on a deep level. All that superficial shit comes and goes. Do you really know that person that you're marrying? Do you really know their intentions? Because now she's suing. She's looking for $20,000 a month in spousal support. And mind you, he just got done with that situation with his other ex-wife who was hitting him over the head with child support. So now he has a whole nother headache on his hands. But again, this is what happens when you're jumping into a relationship to throw it in black women's faces as opposed to really getting to know your partner. So I feel no ways. Let's see here. Read these super chats. Yeah, I feel no ways. Let's see here. Suzanne sent $15 in Norway money. Thank you. She says, here in Norway, we're not allowed to get any visitors. Now imagine living alone, far from family. I broke down crying yesterday. I couldn't take it anymore. Are you serious? How would they even know if somebody comes to your home to visit you? When I tell you this is a global reset, and this is meant to push people over the edge. It is meant to, if you can't get with this new system, then just harm yourself. And I pray, because you said you were crying yesterday, I pray that you find enough strength from somewhere to just keep pushing through. Like I said, and like I always say in my Discord meetings, some people take it for granted that they have other people in their homes. People take it for granted they have children in their homes, a husband, a wife, mother, father, things like that. But there is a segment of the population that when they go home, there's no one there, not even a damn dog. So this is being implemented to drive people crazy and those S numbers to go up. There's no reason why a country like Norway is saying that you're not even allowed to have visitors. There's no reason that a country like Canada is saying that the curfew, there's another curfew in effect for a month from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. There's no reason that in California, business owners are told that they're not allowed to have people eat in their restaurants, that their restaurants have to be shut down, and they have no way to supplement their income. If y'all don't see that this is a global agenda, and like I said, we're all one big circle of life, there is no, oh, this is just happening in America. This is just happening to those people over there. This is a global issue. And I feel so bad. And if they ever decide to just take down the internet, that's going to be super scary, because that's really what a lot of us have to communicate and to keep our sanity is the internet. Hate it or love it, TikTok is keeping a lot of people sane. Hate it or love it, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook are keeping a lot of people's sanity. The whole thing is sad, man. It's sad the more and more that you really think about what it's doing to us, what it's doing to a whole generation of children in schools, the whole social distancing, distance learning. This is all an agenda. And like I said, is C-19 real? Absolutely. I would never disrespect people who have had to deal with it, who have battled it, who have died from it. It's absolutely real. But everything that was ushered in due to that was all an agenda. And I stand in that wholeheartedly. Khadijah Benjamin, thank you so much for the super chat. Just Saying says, Dr. Dre is now Robert Baratheon in his version of Game of Thrones. He needs to do right legally and put his house in order, or Cersei will get in. I don't know how to pronounce some of these people's names, but I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the queen. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but yeah, I'm telling you, I'm turning to a Game of Thrones fans, man. We're gonna have to talk about this on the Discord, have like a little meeting about Game of Thrones, because I'm really liking it. Aurora Borealis sent $4.99. She says, T, did you see the mess about a man and a woman? Blasphemy. I'm not feeding into nothing with these social justice warriors, these people who want to change how I speak, just like they want people to call folks them and they, and I don't feed into none of that shit. I'm not saying a woman. I was raised saying amen. So if people are offended by that, you take your offended ass off my stream and go watch somebody else. I'm not doing that. So thank you for the super chat. I'm not feeding into none of that nonsense. Ugh. A woman, a man. The nerve. Nah, you won't be having T say no mess like that. Let's see here. Marquita Johnson sent $49. She says, I can't find the Discord anymore. I've been in the Discord for 3 months. I'm not sure why it's doing this. If you haven't been in there, you were automatically booted out by the bots. The bots cleaned up house. So if you're not in there reading, you don't have to come in there and talk all the time, but at least coming in there reading posts, checking the pinned messages. If they determine that you have no activity on your account, the bot is cleaning up house. So they booted out like 1,000 people 2 weeks ago. So if you hadn't been on there in like a month, there were some who hadn't been on there in 5 months. So it cleaned up house. I've let a few people back on, people who have reached out to me on Patreon and let me know what the situation was. Some people, somebody was in the hospital, somebody else got into an accident, and somebody else was dealing with deployment. So that's why they hadn't been on. So they were let back on. So if you have a reason, just email me on Patreon. But if you can't find it, that's because the bots booted you out. Let me see here. Erica Mims sent 1999. She says, my Leo sister, July 24th. Hey, that is my little sister's birthday. She's July 24th and I'm the 29th. So that is so funny. She says, AAT, it's the side part for me. Love you from H-Town in my Carl Crawford voice. I'm always butchering that man's name. Carl Crawford. That is like the hardest name for me to say. But thank you so much, sis. Thank you for the super chat. I always call him Crawl, but it's hard for me to say Carl. I don't know why. Carl Crawford. That's just a weird name. It's a normal name, but it's like those, I don't know. It don't go together. Carl. It should be Carl Johnson. Carl Crawford. Let's see here. Oya D sent $50. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look. Oh, Sharir says, amen comes from the sun god Amun Ra. Where the hell did they get a woman from? Yeah, it's just more, liberal nonsense. I ain't got time, honey. I ain't got time. I'm not feeding into that at all. I ain't got time. We heard about the protester. We talked about Kanye. Let's see here. Marlon says, hey T, when it comes to Trump supporters, let's just say Obama supporters would never. Ain't that the truth? They said Obama's somewhere voting or something. So Obama's living his best life. That ain't got nothing to do with him. I know Obama be feeling like, I wish they would stop trying to call me and try to, bring me back to the White House. I didn't appreciate me when I was there. So let me enjoy me and my family. Let us do us. We've transferred power 8 years ago. Don't call on us no more. So Obama, you enjoy that boat ride. This ain't your headache. This is between Joe Biden and President Trump, or soon to be ex-President Trump, period. So thank you for the super chat. Ia Willis says, hey T, in the UK, we are on lockdown and are not allowed to have any visitors too. $1,000 fine if you're caught. It's been like this since the 20th of December. That is crazy. So that means they have to be watching people's homes. So like if you have an extra car in your driveway, or I just don't get that. It's one thing to say that, okay, they want to shut down a restaurant, or even how they did here. They didn't want us to have people over for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But the fact that they are fining people $1,000, and mind you, $1,000 is a lot of money for people who are not able to work consistently. Because again, a lot of jobs have been shut down. People have been let go. People, they bring them in, then they tell them to go back home because the numbers are spiking. So a lot of folks don't have an extra $1,000 right now. So imagine getting a fine because a family member needs to come by your house to drop something off to you. This is insane. That is insane. Thank you so much for that, UKT. I appreciate it. Mango Dread says, hey T, can you talk about the whole $600 stimulus from H&R Block, TurboTax debacle? A bunch of people haven't received their stimulus because of this. I haven't heard anything about that, so I don't speak on anything I haven't heard of. So I don't know what's going on with that. I would have to look into it more. But I did hear about Cash App. I posted about that, Cash App getting hacked. So a lot of people want to be careful with Cash App. If you're using it, make sure you unlink your bank account, your main bank account, and just link a card that doesn't have as much money on it, like a dummy card. It can be a dummy card, it has to be a legitimate card, but a card that's not attached to your bank account, because people have been getting their Cash Apps hacked and their money just wiped clean. And for people who do freelancing or who get cash apps on a regular basis, we don't always empty out our cash apps. A lot of times we just leave it there to grow. So some people use it as like a little savings account. Like, whatever I get from my cash app, they just leave it there to grow. And so what's happened over the past few days is that people who have been just leaving their cash apps alone are going to check on their money, and their money is gone. Now, Cash App tried to come out with a statement and say, oh, it's a lie. This is fake news. Fuck you, Cash App. Okay. I saw people's real comments, tweets, people very upset. And it's happened to people that are person in my Discord. So don't try and sit there and say that it's fake news. People were hacked and people lost money. I get tired of these corporations trying to sit there and try to spin stuff to fit their own narrative. How about instead of you saying that it's fake news, you fix the issue? Let's see here. CCD says, what's your opinion on Hillary Baldwin? Who is Hillary about? I don't know who that is. Unless you're talking about Haley Baldwin, maybe Justin Bieber's wife. I don't know. Did she do something? I don't follow them. You gotta write more than that. I don't know what she's done. And I don't watch her, so I don't know. Let's see here. Erica Nicole sent 20, says, gotta catch the playback. Just want to show some love. Happy New Year's, Queen. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year's to you too, sis. Double-edged sword said, here in Montreal, the Kens and Karens snitch on people that have visitors, but they also had police patrolling since the lockdown on December 24th. Remember in the Bible, they said neighbor will turn against neighbor. Everything that's happening is in the Bible, like literally. Everything that's happening has been talked about. And now you have neighbor turning against neighbor. And I was telling folks, people didn't believe me, but I was telling folks in the suburbs, there's a little snitch line during Thanksgiving where you could call and report your neighbors if you saw a bunch of cars in their driveway. They had snitch lines set up so you could tell on people. So it's getting really scary. Who was faking everything? Somebody's not really Spanish? Haley, let me go back and read what y'all talking about. Meg Thee Stallion is being fake, T. What is she being fake about again? Alec Baldwin, wife fake being Latina. Oh, this is Alec Baldwin's wife? I thought y'all was talking about Justin Bieber's wife. I'm like, who? Haley Baldwin? I guess her name would be Haley Bieber. I'm sorry. Alec Baldwin, I don't check for him or his wife, so I don't know. And what's up with all these white who want to be everything but white? Y'all want to be Latina, y'all want to be racially ambiguous, y'all want to be light-skinned Black people. Stop. Doing too much. Okay, well, I'm glad to know it's that one, because I'm like, Haley Bieber tends to, stay out the fray. Okay, well, that's good to know. So she's pretending to be a Latina. Well, the Latina women, y'all need to go ahead and drag her. That's y'all's fight, honey. Drag her the way we be dragging them Russian women who pretend to be light-skinned Black women. Black folks, they be drugging them Russian girls. They put them braids in their hair and they switch up their whole ethnicity. Let's see here. Fadizi sent 5 from Zimbabwe. Says, hey, T, love from Zimbabwe. It's a lot of us who watch you over here. Love what you do. Keep it up, sis. Thank you so much. And thank you for the love all the way from the motherland. I really appreciate it. Nina Lynn says, hey, T, 4 guys try to break into Dr. Dre's house. And then somebody tried to also break into Tyrese's house or Tyrese's car or something like that. Or they stole his car. Like I said, they all need to make amends. Just saying, Sent 5 says, remember in Revelations about the family being against each other? These fines in the UK are beginning to people's neighbors telling on them. Thank you for the super chat. Tanisha Brown says, line time tea sipper. I live in Atlanta and I pray that they don't start down here. Love the hair in this shirt. Beautiful. Thank you so much. How long have I been on? We've had a lot of people on here. Oh, I've been on already an hour and 31 minutes. It don't even feel like it. This stream has gone by so fast. I don't want the playback to be too long. So I'm going to get ready to head out. But Thank you guys so much. Y'all just stay safe and just know this is all a part of a bigger plan. I suggest you guys read, research, swap information. I'm going to be in the political chat room of my Discord, sipping and spilling tea. We've been having a lot of really good, dialogue in there. So I'll be in there after this stream, just following up on everything. But you guys, please stay safe. Please stay vigilant and just understand that 2021 is going to come with a lot of changes. If you guys thought 2020 was no joke, hold on to your lace front wigs. And on that note, you guys have a good night. Happy New Year. And I'll be back sometime this week. Talk to you guys later. Bye.